welcome to this Real Heroes Women's Day special. Yes, some of you are going to be cynical about the tokenism of this day, the symbolism of this day, celebrating it as a day of women's empowerment. Because the truth is, each day, every day, women fight numerous battles in homes, in offices, on the streets and in the society at large. Yes, violence and exploitation, rape and abuse cannot be fitted into categories or numbers. It's also about mindsets and patriarchy. In the next 30 minutes, women who have fought against all of this and are changing the world one step at a time. Our first real hero, Sunita Krishnan, is a gang rape survivor. But that's not why she's a real hero. The rape and the violence do not make her identity. Sunita is a real hero for many other reasons, and prime among them is the work and effort she's put in helping women and children who faced exploitation in the past forget their tragedy and move forward.
Ente, a film that takes on child sex trafficking and speaks for the young girls trapped in the trade. The film that released earlier this year is a labour of love for Sunita Krishnan, a real hero from the year 2008.
Film is a mainstream commercial cinema, is my desperate attempt to change attitudes and perceptions in the society. We have done our bit in many ways to sensitize the world about what we do, how we do, but also about what the world should understand about the problem that we are tackling.
We met Sunita 5 years ago, running schools for minors she helped rescue from sexual exploitation.
Children here have been rescued from different kinds of sexual exploitation, right from incestual rape to sex tourism to being abused in pornographic films.
As a teenager, Sunita herself had been gang raped. The incident made her angry more than leaving her shattered. It was then that she started an anti-traffic organization, Prajwala. And since then she has been rescuing women from brothels across the country, taking on the ruthless trafficking mafia every day.
I've faced violence outside from traffickers, from antisocial elements who believe my presence was not a good thing to do. I faced violence within my own family.
Sunita chose to ignore those voices that were pulling her back. She started employing the rescued women so they could build a new life by doing construction work or carpentry and start again from scratch. Today, Prajwala is the largest rehab center for more than 1,200 survivors of sexual exploitation. After rehabilitation, those who leave Prajwala never talk about it, as it is linked with the past that Sunita herself has been helping them forget.
Now, Sunita's story came into prominence when the Delhi gang rape took place last year. There was shock and outrage. A few months down the line, the anger has receded, the assaults continue. The next real hero we are profiling on this special show has refused to let things die down. Nashima Khatun calls herself Red Light Area ki beti. In 2002, a police raid in Chaturbhuj, the red light area of Bihar's Muzaffarpur town, became one girl's wake-up call. 17-year-old Nashima saw how the cops arrested and harassed not just sex workers, their children were also not spared. Nashima, a daughter of a sex worker, decided to fight back.
मतलब अगर इस रेड लाइट एरिया का मुद्दा है तो ये लड़ाई भी रेड लाइट एरिया की बेटी, यहाँ की धंधे वाली औरतें, नाचने वाली औरतें, इनकी ही होनी चाहिए। मगर प्लेटफॉर्म चाहिए मुझे जहाँ मैं ये कह सकूँ कि जी हाँ, मैं रेड लाइट एरिया की बेटी।
25 girls, all daughters of sex workers, have joined Nashima in chorus. Together, they formed Parcham.
मान सम्मान और अधिकार, ये तीनों चीज हमारे मेन लक्ष्य में है।
Alley to alley, door to door,
कौन से क्लास में पढ़ के छोड़ दी?
Nashima convinced every family in the area against forcing their children into the profession.
जब हम पढ़ाई लिखाई करके मैं अपनी अच्छी जिंदगी जीना चाह रही हूँ, इसमें आने के कोई सवाल ही नहीं है।
For those who are already in the profession like Neelam Kumari, Nashima's demand is for a performance license that would safeguard them from the police pimp nexus.
उनके पहचान को कोई ठेस ना पहुंचे और ये जो उनकी कला है उसको लेकर वो शर्मिंदगी महसूस ना करे।
One of Nashima's biggest challenge has been to usher in a secure future for retired sex workers.
लोग क्या है कि कुछ उम्र बीतने के बाद या तो किसी के यहाँ दाई के काम करेंगे, चूल्हा चौका।
Thanks to Nashima, Sita Dadi and others like her are now part of a project called Ujala, where retired sex workers are rehabilitated. From computer training to undergraduate classes, the Parcham now has a presence in 25 districts of Bihar. Nashima and her gang of girls also reach out to the outside world through Jugnu, India's only magazine completely handwritten by those living in the red light areas. Nashima tied the knot with a social worker, Hansraj. Here they are, seeking the blessings of Muzaffarpur's Sufi saint, Kambal Shah.
मेरे ससुराल वाले ने सब कुछ जानते हुए मुझे एक्सेप्ट किया।
Nashima knows that her marriage has a much larger meaning for hundreds of girls like her who were born with a stained identity. As you saw, Nashima married a man of her choice and is today living a life of example. But for some, the struggle continues. Birobala Rabha fought against a practice which branded women as witches and even killed them. Yes, witch hunting a reality in many parts of this country, all this happening in modern-day India.
Lynched by a mob after being branded as a witch. The horrific death of a family in Assam. Witch hunting is not uncommon in this part of northeast India. Every year, women are branded as witches, hounded out of villages, often killed by mobs. Very few confront the murderers. 70-year-old Birobala Rabha has been waging a war against such crimes for the last 20 years of her life. Her fight started in 1966, before her first son was born. A local Ojha or witch doctor had predicted that her unborn child would die in 3 days.
But that son is still alive. He's in an asylum for problems that developed much later. After this incident, I realized how they brand people as witches.
Biro decided to fight against this witch hunting. When a woman was branded a witch in village Boku and beaten publicly, Biro fought for her. Biro was threatened and boycotted by the villagers. She even received death threats.
I didn't care when they threatened to kill me.
She got the women together as the Toborani Mahila Samiti. Birobala has saved 28 women in Thakurbila. But witch hunting still exists in parts of Meghalaya, Kokrajhar in Assam, and Biro's fight continues.
Even if I die saving someone else's life, it's fine.
We'll take a short break on this Real Heroes special. Many more inspiring stories coming up ahead.
I decided neither will I get married nor allow any child marriage in my village.
Welcome back to this Real Heroes Women's Day special. Now, the law of the land may have banned child marriages, but thousands of girls in India are married off as little girls. Veena Kalindi in West Bengal and Vijay Lakshmi in Rajasthan have emerged as two strong voices against child marriage in India. First they fought their parents, then their neighbours, and then the society at large.
Purulia, the birthplace of the Chau, the dance form of the Shakti. But in this land of the powerful goddess, her daughters are helpless. Even before they can realize, child marriage or Balu Vivaho abruptly ends their childhood. And they are forced to walk into a life of unimaginable horrors. And this is the face of that horror. 16-year-old Saraswati was married off at 12. By the time she turned 14, she had suffered 2 miscarriages. Her first husband had deserted her. She was remarried by her parents and her third child was born. Watching her sister suffer, Beena Kalandi decided that she didn't want to end up like her. So Beena became the first girl in her village to speak out against child marriage.
When girls are married off so young, they become mother at an early age. Many a times both of them die. So I decided neither will I get married nor allow any child marriage in my village.
Beena then took the fight against child marriage outside her home. In the last 2 years, Beena and her friends have stopped 3 child marriages with the support of National Child Labour Project. Like the goddess Kali, Beena and her friends have triumphed over the evil. They may have won the battle, but the war is still on. Vijay Lakshmi Sharma, 21 years old, village Johinda Bhojpura, Phagi near Jaipur. She could have been just another number to add to the statistics on child marriages in Rajasthan, but she fought her way out. Vijay Lakshmi was barely 14 when she was told to improve her cooking skills. A boy had been found, she would soon be married.
मैंने पापा से मना कर दिया, बोले पापा मेरे को शादी नहीं करनी है और शादी करेंगे तो मेरी जगह आप ही बैठेंगे, मैं शादी में नहीं बैठूंगी.
Vijay may have given in, but for a tragic incident that forced her parents to change their mind. A 14-year-old girl in the village died in childbirth. She had been married a year back.
देखो आज इसकी खेलने की समय थी जो आज ये सब कुछ करके और जा रही, तो ऐसे फिर मैंने भी सोचा अब ऐसा काम मैं भी नहीं करूंगी, नहीं मेरे साथ कितना बुरा पाप हो जाता मैं.
Vijay Lakshmi won the battle at home, but her struggle had only just begun. When she got to know that her 13-year-old neighbor Nisha was going to be married, Vijay ran pillar to post to get the marriage called off. Talking to her family, getting the panchayat secretary to intervene, but in vain. Nisha was married off. But Vijay Lakshmi did not give up. She convinced Nisha to refuse to go to her marital home before she turns 18.
मैं जब तक 18 साल की नहीं होना, जब तक नहीं जाऊंगी ससुराल, तो पापा ने कह दिया कि ठीक है बेटे चल.
Vijay Lakshmi has stopped the vidai of 9 girls in her village. A student herself, she has convinced girls like Nisha of the importance of education, of learning and against early motherhood.
Now, in many homes across the country, urban and rural, the girl child is unwelcome. Abuse and violence can begin in the womb. Change, too, can start at home by questioning society's well-accepted practices, like blues for boys or football is for boys. Jalpana Paul from Malkangiri and her gang of girls is kicking this notion hard.
The coach and the captain of not one but 2 women's sports teams, Jalpana Paul, is all of 20. But she is single-handedly responsible for giving the girls of Odisha's Naxal-infested Malkangiri the passion to play.
4 या 5 श्रेणी में पढ़ती हूँ, तब से मेरे मन में एक ख्याल हुआ मेरे को एक प्लेयर बनना है. तो टीवी में देखी और लड़का लोग खेलते हैं लोग, लेकिन हमारे मलकानगिरी में कोई लड़की लोग नहीं खेलते थे पहले.
Jalpana was just 15 when she started motivating other girls in her district to play.
मेरे पास एक ठो बॉल था, वही लेके एक ही बॉल लेके हम ड्रेस भी नहीं थे पहले।
But convincing the girls' families who battle acute poverty every day to let their daughters step out of the house and into the field was not easy. The girls here barely have time for school. They need to be at home, helping their mothers bind beedies.
She spoke to my father and convinced him. I want to express my gratitude to Jalpana, not by saying thank you, but by performing on the field.
Jalpana gave to the district its first women's football and cricket teams. In the last 5 years, she has groomed 100 girls and over a dozen of them have got jobs under sports quota.
मेरा ख्वाब है मैं जितने लड़की लोगों को सिखाती हूँ उसके अंदर 1 या 2 या 3 इंटरनेशनल तक पहुँचे, वो खेल के आए तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगी।
The last real hero we are going back to is Subhashini Mistry. In 2009, we profiled this vegetable vendor who started a hospital for the poor. There have been so many personal battles in between, but her courage and fortitude shines through.
Sometimes a healing touch can perform a miracle that even the most effective medicines can't. No one knows it better than the patients at the Humanity Hospital at Hashpukur near Kolkata. Because here they have found both, all thanks to the grit and determination of one woman, 80-year-old Subhashini Mistry.
We can't go to big hospitals in the city, so our only hope is this hospital.
25 years ago, tragedy struck Subhashini's life when she lost her husband to a stomach condition.
My husband died due to lack of proper treatment, so I decided to make a small hospital so that others don't suffer like me.
But with no money and 4 young children to take care of, Subhashini had no time to grieve. And for 20 years, she sold vegetables at Kolkata's Park Circus. The only silver lining in Subhashini's life was her eldest son Ajoy. He was a good student, but she couldn't afford his schooling. So she sent him to an orphanage. Ajoy became a doctor.
Our mother had told us that we could lead a comfortable life if we wanted, but we decided to be with her in her mission.
In 1993, the hospital was started from this thatched shed on a 1-acre land. 10 years later, Subhashini's dream had become a reality. The Humanity Hospital as we see it today was constructed in 2002. With 11 departments and doctors providing voluntary service, the hospital's OPD treats 50 patients a day. But she's quick to point out that her mission is not over.
For patients who come from far, providing 24/7 hospital services is what I dream of.
Now, all these real heroes bring me to one thought. Gloria Steinem, the well-known feminist and social activist, said that we have to imagine change before we can move towards it. Our real heroes? Well, they've done both. In fact, this year's real heroes are inspiring, courageous and brave women who are pushing the boundaries each day, every day. From our entire team here, thanks for watching and keep the faith.